behalf of HSNC University, KC College, Department of Chemistry, under Star DBT, in association with the Environmental Committee, welcome all participants, faculty members, fellow colleague from my department, and our invited speaker, Ms. Amita Deshpande. As we all know, in today's developing and changing world, there is a cry about the ethics of
Ma'am, you muted yourself. Chaudhary ma'am.
Chalu,
Okay.
wait.
Should I restart?
Yes, please.
You want me to restart again?
Yeah, ma'am.
Hello, can you
Yes,
hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Start.
Okay. As we all know, in today's developing and changing world, there is a cry about the ethics of the student and society, about the environment and its degradation. To participate in the process of improvement of our surrounding, as well as to inculcate its value, we have Ms. Amita Deshpande present among us to speak on waste management from lab to life. She is a founder of Recharkha, the eco-social tribe. On this note, without wasting much time, I invite Mrs. Uzma to introduce our today's speaker. Over to Uzma.
Okay, ma'am. Good afternoon and a warm welcome to today's session. I find immense pleasure in introducing our speaker of the day, Miss Amita Deshpande, founder of Recharkha, the eco-social tribe. An IT engineer by basic education, she has completed her master's in industrial administration from USA with a focus on sustainability. Ms. Amita has worked extensively in sustainable development and corporate social responsibility since the past 14 years. She worked with CSR team of multinational corporation, consultancies, non-profits, and community-based organizations in US and India, and eventually founded Arohana Eco-Social Development with the rich experience that she had gathered. After leading Arohana for 7 years, she founded Recharkha Eco-Social to continue the same work of upcycling plastic waste. Recharkha Eco-Social is a social enterprise working on upcycling non-recyclable plastic waste using a traditional weaving technique that uses a charkha and hand loom, thus keeping the process entirely manual. Recharkha employs tribal, rural, women, and youth in this process, thus enabling livelihood for them in an attempt to develop an eco-social planet. Ma'am, it is a great opportunity for us to hear from you. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It is my pleasure to, try to motivate all of you. That's my basic work, I think, for today. I don't want to, give you any gyan of waste management because most of us know, and especially you guys are chemistry students. So you all know the implications of using plastic, right? Most of you know it. So it's not going to be a GAN session. I'm not going to, give you a lot of information about waste management, but I want to motivate you to take up activities on your own as volunteers as well as or as citizens of this country and potential people who will be working in this space. So let me begin by showing you a short video because Uzma just introduced what we do, but it is, I wanted to share my screen. Uzma, can I do that? Yeah, I can. This will stop other screen sharing. Okay, so can you stop your screen sharing and can I start my screen sharing, Uzma?
Yes, ma'am, already done.
Okay. So this is a 1-minute video. So just pay your attention as much as possible so that you know how we upcycle all these plastic bags, which are in my left hand. So what you see are different kinds of wrappers as well as plastic bags and biscuit wrappers and gift These are the things which do not get recycled easily or are not recyclable at all. And as you know, plastic is not degradable. So most of the times this waste ends up in all the places which we know, be it our roadside, be it our waterways, be it landfills and everywhere else. So how do we convert this plastic into these wonderful bags that you see on my in my right hand? This is what we do in Recharkha, and the process we employ is very interesting, and that's what I'm going to show. This is done in a tribal village. So the people who work with us, one part of our team is in the tribal village, and women, specifically women and youth, work with us over there. And the next process happens in our Pune office, which also you'll be able to see in this video quickly.
Can you guess how this turns into this? Let's find out.
Do you all see how we do this?
Yes, we did.
Okay, okay. So the whole idea is to upcycle plastic waste, which is all this that I have here with me. So these are our day-to-day items that we typically use, plastic bags, which are, you know, it's banned, right? Do we still use it? Do we still go in the market and ask for a carry bag? Or if the person, grocery guy or the vegetable guy gives you, do we accept it? Yeah. Let's have an interactive session, okay? So whosoever can speak are allowed to speak, please tell me, because it'll be a very one-way session and I can't see anybody here. So actually it'll be great if you can switch on your videos as well, because it's good to have to see people interacting and participating in this.
Sorry to interrupt, Amita ma'am. Our principal ma'am has joined, Dr. Hemlata Batra.
Oh, hi, Himlata ji.
Hi, Amita ji. Yeah, carry on. The lecture started.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this is what our raw material is all about. So these are the plastic bags that I was showing what we do. Then do you know these gift wrappers? We think it is paper, but it is plastic. Then these kind of wrappers, which all of us use and throw away. And this. So these are basically our raw material. And I don't know how many of you are old enough to know what this is. Have you all seen this in your life? These are cassettes, right? This is where music used to be heard. Cassettes, video and audio cassettes. So this is our raw material. We are trying to upcycle all this to make these wonderful products. So this is a laptop sleeve that I have in my hand. And this is a nice Jula bag, which is one of our hottest selling product. Okay. And then we have a little clutch, a tablet sleeve. So these are all the products that we make. There are many more products which you can find online and on our Instagram. So what basically we are doing is two things. Okay. One is we are upcycling plastic waste so that we conserve the environment. And second is to create livelihoods for the tribals that we work with. And in process of doing this, we are also reviving our traditional craft. The craft that I'm talking about is the craft of handloom weaving. So many of you might have heard that, handloom weaving has been declining. It used to be the second largest employer in our country. The largest is agriculture, right? The largest is agriculture. The second used to be artisans, like craft. was a very big part of it, because whatever we used to wear, people used to wear in the past, was mostly made of handlooms because there was no machines. So a charkha and a handloom was used, and different kind of fabric like cotton and silk and wool, hemp, all this was hand spun and hand woven. So we're trying to revive that and make that as our method of upcycling. And now, once we do that, we are also creating products. So as a result, the products that we sell and people buy are creating conscious consumers. Because if you didn't have this alternative of buying a laptop sleeve, for example, this one, what alternatives would you have? You would have either gone and got a leather sleeve for yourself, okay, which if done in a right manner could be sustainable. I wouldn't contradict, definitely, but mostly what you would have gone and polyester wrapped up sleeves, polyester bags and resin bags and all those kind of things. Now all this is polyester, which is petroleum, which is non-degradable. So here we are upcycling it. We're making things which are reused. Instead of throwing it away, we are making reuse of it. So something that was used only for a few minutes now has been used for several years. Okay, so this is what our main aim is, and our organization is called Recharkha. Recharkha. Charkha is the traditional equipment that I was talking about. You all know charkha, right? So how it has been obviously made popular a lot by Gandhiji, because Gandhiji used to spin his own cotton and make his own clothes. But he also brought it to the forefront because it was used a lot during the freedom struggle to be self-sustainable and self-sufficient. So Atmanirbhar was the whole, the motto during our freedom struggle. So that's why everybody knows charkha. Now we're bringing back the charkha. That's re-charkha and reviving of the charkha, as well as recycling of plastic waste. So that's why we are called Recharkha, the eco-social tribe. We want all of you to become a part of our eco-social tribe. We want the whole tribe to grow, make it into a worldwide movement, and make our planet into a better place for all of us to live on. So that's the whole purpose and whole motive of Recharkha. Now, what I'm going to do is quickly also walk you through a brief presentation that I have here, which will put some focus on different kinds of waste that we all create, and a little bit about sustainable development and how waste can be managed at home. So I'm not talking about you all creating waste management companies right now. Maybe you all will eventually, but currently we are going to talk only about what you can do at home and at your college level. So this is my presentation, and okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so tell me, what are the most important things that we need for living in the environment? So basically these, right? What in Sanskrit it's called Panch Mahabhut, right? So it is a lot of it, obviously much more than that I'm showing here. One sec, let me just remove this part away. Cool, now you can see it, right? So we need sunlight, we need water, we need air, we need a good temperature, stable temperature for us to live on, and we need food. But now in today's world, when we're talking about sustainable development, this is all that we are trying to conserve. It's nothing other than that. It is not something outer worldly that we are calling sustainable. It is something that we anyways need for our own living. It is not for the cockroaches, or it's not for rats or for elephants. It is for us as well as for all those organisms. So let's look at how we human beings are really not conserving this, whereas we should, because this is where what we are dependent on. But what we are typically doing is not conserving this at all. Okay. So what is sustainable development? Like the basic definition of sustainable development is development that of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Now, suppose your parents and your grandparents would have, beaten up the world so much that nothing was left for you. How would you have felt? Betrayed? Why did you give birth to me? Right? I would have definitely done that. If my parents wouldn't have left a good house for me or good planet for me, I would have definitely done that. But that's what we are going to do. That's what we are doing. We are not leaving a good planet for the next generation. And that's why sustainable development is coming to the picture. So for example, the next generation, our children, our grandchildren, whosoever, they're not going to live in a sustainable world if we do not take the right steps right now. And y'all being chemistry students, potential chemical scientists and chemical engineers, this is what it's going to be most important. And today, from the entire, definition of sustainability and sustainable development, I'm going to focus only on one part, which is waste management, because we don't have so much of time. I could go on and on for the whole day, but let's focus only on waste management today. So let's see, what does our waste stream consist of? You all are all from Bombay, right? All from Mumbai. So tell me, what does your dustbin consist of typically? Anybody who can talk can give me the answers. The others are muted, so they can't talk. You just imagine your own dustbin, whatever you're throwing in your dustbin. What all does the dustbin consist of?
Vegetable leftovers,
Mm-hmm. And
Plastics,
mm-hmm. And
wrappers, papers,
okay. What else? Metal, glass, wood. Okay. Yeah, so
Foil.
maybe some cans. Yeah, foil. Correct. Different kinds of plastic. So plastic could be bottles, plastic could be containers, plastic bags, wrappers, right? Sometimes clothes, old clothes. Yeah. So all this is what we throw away in the dustbins. Now, where does it go from the dustbin? Does the dustbin eat up all this waste? Does it? Wish it could, right? Whatever we throw, it would have eaten up and then it would have been just the best thing to do.
The garbage is being accumulated at one place and then is taken by the municipal corporation to the dumping grounds.
Okay, so it's just taken to the dumping ground and then we just don't bother about it anymore. Somebody else's problem, right? But what happens typically is a lot of the waste, which is in Mumbai, I have this a lot. I travel there, I've lived there. You see big dumps in every nook and corner of the city, and it looks gross. And then in the morning, the poor, the dumping car van comes in. It's the people are actually picking up all this waste and putting it in the dumping van, and then it's taken over. But sometimes a lot of this waste is also thrown away here and there without putting it in the dustbin. Even if it is put in the dustbin and it goes into the landfill, there is wind, there's water. When it's raining, do you think it's all buried in the landfill that it's going to remain there forever? Most of it, yes, but a lot of it also gets washed away. Where does it get washed away? Or where does it get blown away? How much planet is water? Basic question from school times.
71%.
Exactly, 71%. So where would it go? From the land, it will automatically go into the water. From there, it will go to the rivers to the ocean. So the ocean, nobody is going to go and dump plastic in the ocean. When we talk about, the garbage patches in the ocean are getting formed and fish are dying and birds are dying, it's not because somebody has gone and thrown garbage in the ocean. It is because of us. We throw our waste here and there. First of all, we use all this rubbish and then we throw our waste here and there, and then it lands up into the water and into the ocean. So it is us who's at fault and not the poor fish and not the poor birds. Now, next, okay. So now two kinds of waste. Again, chemistry two things, right? Degradable, non-degradable. Things that become soil and things that doesn't become soil. What is degradable? Your vegetable waste, your paper waste. It takes about a month for it to degrade, right? Have you all tried composting at home? If you take a banana peel and you bury it or just leave it in the your pot, even if you're living in an apartment, if you have a little earthen pot, you leave it in that. In a month's time, it will become black. It will start smelling because it is getting composted, because it is getting degraded. Animals and insects are eating it. Microorganisms are eating it. It will get degraded. What about this? How many of us use all these things? Don't we use these bottles for bottled water because we don't carry our own bottle around? 200 to 1000 years. Plastic, different kinds of plastic, all these chips and wrappers that we use. Gift wrappers, why do we need these? Again, plastic, thermocol and plastic plates. All of this takes 200 to 1000 years to degrade. This if it is not recycled, obviously, but most of the, not everything gets recycled, unfortunately. Only things which are kept clean and reach the recycler will get recycled. So unfortunately, this is what our dustbin consists of in a majority way. This is what we need to work on. It's not so difficult. We can actually work out on these things. So let's see some facts and figures. Okay, annually 500 billion plastic bags are being used worldwide. How much is that? What is 500 billion? Can we even imagine that number? But if I break it down, it is 10 lakh plastic bags per minute. Now we've been talking for the past 15-20 minutes. 100 lakh plastic bags have been used already in this 20 minutes conversation. This is the amount of plastic waste that we are using and throwing away. Unfortunately, when we throw away waste, especially in cities, we throw all the wet waste tied up in plastic and then we throw it away because we don't want it in our own house and we think the plastic bag will take care of everything. That's why we put it in a garbage bag or a plastic bag and throw it away. But animals in the cities do not get enough food. What do? They want to go and eat. They find your food wrapped in a plastic bag and thrown away in a dumpster. They want to go and eat. Unfortunately, while eating it, do you think cows have hand and they can open the plastic bag and then eat food from inside it? Can cows do that or dogs do that? No, they're going to chew it, right? They're going to chew through the plastic bag to get to the food and plastic as well. Thousands of cows are dying. 60 kilos of plastic is found in dead cow's stomach. Even I'm not 60 kilos. Imagine the amount of plastic that typically cows are eating because they are mostly stray cows. Even if it is not eaten by cows or if it is not going to the waterways, it is burnt. We all know how the fire at Deonar a few years ago was going on for months together. Does anybody of you all live in that area, in the Deonar area, Chembur Deonar area? When I come from Pune to Bombay via the Chembur area, on the right hand side, I look and I see huge mountains. And those are not mountains, unfortunately. Those are landfills. That's where most of Mumbai's waste is going and getting dumped. Unfortunately, all these mountains have become so tall that aeroplanes are getting affected by it. And because there's not enough space, and because the plastic and these things are so inflammable, they catch fire. And whatever toxic gases come out of it, we inhale it and they could cause cancer to us. They are carcinogenic. You all know, again, right? Chemistry students. You all know plastic burning does not give you beautiful gases, but it causes carcinogenic gases. Again, we just talked about this. Most of the ways, like either by wind or by gushing water, plastic and waste reaches our rivers. You all know how the rivers in Mumbai are or anywhere else are. This is the picture of one of these kind of rivers. Unfortunately, when plastic reaches nothing can be done with it. Cleaning of this water becomes impossible, and water and the waste keeps floating. Unfortunately, it also breaks down. Do you know what photodegradation is? Something like biodegradation. Biodegradation will break down material into soil. Photodegradation, in the presence of sunlight, the plastic starts breaking down, right? It becomes powderish, and then it creates microplastic and microplastic particles. These become impossible to clean, and they are mixed in the water, and all the animals which live in the water, they unfortunately have to swallow it. They are not given a choice. If they have to drink water, they gulp it down because they live there, and unfortunately 100,000 marine animals and 1 million birds die each year because of eating this plastic or getting stuck in it. What happens is these are floating here and there. A turtle, for example, is swimming. It could get stuck in that plastic. You never know. And then it doesn't have a way to come out of it. This is the map of our world. You all can see the entire screen, or this thing is hiding the screen. My dashboard. Okay, I've kept it up. So this is the map of our globe, of our planet. Wherever you see blue are oceans and whites are continents. In the blue oceans, you see these huge patches, gyres, that is plastic. Unfortunately, so many patches of plastic are already created on our planet. And every year, 268,940 tons, okay, plastic is getting washed away into the oceans. Can we stop it? Or do you want to keep building and then eventually also form islands with plastic and then go live on it? That's not going to be possible, unfortunately. Even if it was a good idea to do that, it's not going to be possible. So what do we do about it? Typical situation in the city. 70% is organic waste. Whatever we saw earlier, which we throw away, could be actually composted and used for something better instead of letting it go into the landfills and generating gases like methane over there. 70% can be stopped. Rest, 30%, again, paper, plastic, minerals, gas, etc. So out of the remaining 100%, if we consider 23% is plastic, which can be recycled if we wanted to. So only this is sort of a little current methods of treatment that I've given. Waste can be biogassed or composted. Non-biodegradable could be either sent for landfilling, recycling, or incineration or landfilling. So these are the current treatment methods. What we suggest is, if segregation happens to a larger extent, okay, your waste dustbin, when I asked you what the dustbin consists of, you told me just 4-5 things. You told me plastic, you told me metal, you told me glass, you told me cardboard, paper. But if you actually break down your waste, 59 different items can be recovered from your dustbins. And each and every of these 59 items can be sent for recycling. Can you even imagine? We don't do this. We just throw it away and forget about it. So we need to start working on this if we want to have a better planet. And one type of plastic, what I showed you, is what we upcycle. So as much as possible, recycling, upcycling is a better way, because we create something better from what used to be. So like if this bag was actually 35 plastic bags and glittery gift wrappers. So like 35 of this and white plastic bags. So you make something interesting and you make something beautiful, which is durable for a longer period of time. Definitely, this is also going to end up in the waste at some point in time. And we are trying to minimize that by telling people to send it back to us so that we can upcycle it further. But in the meanwhile, at least we are extending the life of the plastic. But this is not the solution. What is the solution? The solution is refuse, reduce, reuse. Only then think of recycling. Because at the rate that I told you, that every minute 10 lakh plastic bags are being used, do you even think can recycle it. It's impossible. And that's only plastic bags. What about the bottles and the other containers and everything else? It's impossible to recycle so much. The first 3 R's are what is most important. Refuse, reduce, reuse. Even more than reuse, refuse and reduce are the most important things. So this is what my message of today's conversation is actually. Now, we as Recharka have 4 things that I've already talked about. One is cleaning up the environment as much as possible, reviving our heritage and craft. Third is economic development of livelihoods. Fourth is consumer awareness. So this session right now is actually consumer awareness, because we want you to think whenever you're going to buy, first question should come, do I really want this? Yeah, that's the first question. So that we don't unnecessarily buy things. And we've actually been taught this very well because of the COVID situation right now. Um, if you want to buy, then what should I buy? It should be consciously what? Whether it is made up of a recycled material, whether it is an organic material, whether it is going to create livelihoods for somebody, whether it's going to create a meaningful living for somebody. These are the questions that should come to you when you're going to buy something from the market. I would suggest only then we should go and shop as much as possible. Okay. So how can you help? This is a common question that I wanted to answer here. One is, of course, doing this and in your own home, even if you don't give us your waste, at least do the first 3 R's. If we want, we can actually start a waste collection for your college, and maybe volunteers from your team can come up and actually facilitate that. This is the kind of plastic that you can donate us. All kinds of carry bags like these, or garbage bags, black, big, small, even the thick ones like this, even this is okay. Other than this, all kinds of packets. But again, when you're using the packets or sending us the packets, open it only from the top, so that we get intact wrappers as much as possible, so that we can upcycle it further. Gift wrappers, I told you, so open them carefully, ensure that there is an intact wrapper. So this is what our products look like. So you can go ahead and buy some of our products online. We have a website. I'm going to give you the name of our website. You can go ahead, buy it. You can even buy them for gifting purposes, either for personal gifting or bulk gifting. So this is what we do. So remember us even when you grow up and go join any companies and corporates. You can also think of this as a good gifting option. And yeah, you can get in touch with us. I'll stop my presentation here. I want to answer your questions. I'm also going to give my Insta account. All of you are on Instagram, right? So this is instagram.com. Recharka_ecosocial. That's our Insta handle, and our website is www.recharka.org. That's where you can actually go and watch this video, as well as purchase products. Yeah, so I'm open for questions.
Can ask a question?
Before you start question and answer session, let me just thank Amrita for such a Amita, right?
Amrita. My sister's Amruta, so but I get that a lot. Many people think.
Yeah, I don't know. It suits you more than Amrita. So Amrita sounds good. So thank you so much, Amrita, and it was like very enlightening session. And I will not take your much time, and I don't want to come between you and students. But quick thing: how do we collaborate? Number one, how can I take your product and give gifts to my people who come to college? How do I teach my students to use that charkha and guide these people? And can we label it KC out there, and your products go from the KC college? I buy from you those products. Yeah. And make it a training for our NSS students or our chemistry students. They can come and learn how it is actually been done. So entire training can be given to them. How can they reach out to masses to be your additional help, that they go out to colleges and say and talk about it? And if they are interested, maybe 1, 2, 3. because frankly telling you, we are working here with such a mission. Today afternoon we had a meeting, a program with ministry, so for taking care of senior citizens concerned, elderly people is concerned. So on one hand, we want to train people to become caregivers, and on the other hand, I think sustainability is very important, and this area has to be looked at because this is one of the goals of UNESCO's 17 sustainable goals, and one thing is taking care of the environment and in a number of ways. So let me congratulate you that you're doing fantastic job, commendable. I had to go for a meeting. I stopped myself. I messaged Dr. Charu that I might leave, but your presentation, your talk, just hold me on, and I postponed that meeting for you because this is very important. And I thought I must convey my, interest that and convey this thought that if I join with you, my students are so wonderful. They will just join along, and we can take it forward. And this is
Totally. I'll be more than happy.
Beautiful. You're involving right from artisans to the waste pickers, and I used to always wonder how this life of waste pickers can be improved, and it bothers me. The waste pickers, like the way they get into the animals, who are actually exposed to such vast waste, and how they are suffering. I also know already there's another story how they are suffering. All these herbivores are really, when they're gazing, they get into such areas and they're actually taking in the plastics and all. So much is there which we need to look at. And you are right that we need to give a wonderful and beautiful earth. At least we can do, maybe we take a one step with you. So you let us know how we can walk together and take it forward.
Sure. The best is actually, Himlata ji, is if we can start with collection of plastic waste from your students. So of course, the first step is to not use plastic. Don't just feel that somebody is collecting your plastic. That's why you can use as much as you can. So let's first take an oath of reducing our own usage of waste. So for example, carry bags to hum band kar hi sakte hain. We can take our own cloth bag and go. So this is the best help you can do by not using this at all. Any kind of carry bag is not needed. Take your own cloth bag, fill all your products in that and bring them home. Even this, nowadays they've started giving out these instead of plastic bags. This is called non-woven fabric, but this is 100% plastic. If you want to test it, again, chemistry students, burn a corner of it. If it fuses with plastic, if it burns away, it's an organic material. So don't use this at all because it's 100% plastic and it gets disposed. It will clog your drains again and again and again. So that's the first step. Secondly, you can easily avoid this when you're gifting gifts to anybody. Stop using this. We don't need it. You can either use a newspaper and do some nice painting decoration on it, or just give the gift. Why do you need a wrapper for it? Right? It's going to anyways get opened up. So all these kind of things, you can be creative and create something else from it. So these two things you can easily avoid. You could avoid this. Anyways, it's not the best thing you should eat. You could avoid packaged food. So there are various ways, and we keep posting these things on our Instagram also. So do follow us there, how we can go waste free. So you don't need to eat packaged foods or go and buy it. There are zero waste solutions. There are zero waste stores. So that's the best thing you can help me with. Secondly, as ma'am rightly said, you can also do waste collection drives for us. Thirdly, you can become our eco-social tribe and conduct more of these seminars in other places and other departments of your own school, your college. Your college can also possibly purchase products from us and gift for your dignitaries. So that's one way we can definitely work on it. We work with some corporates in India as well as abroad who do this, and it's an exciting gift because people really love something so creative. And lastly, we are creating livelihoods. So we are working with our tribal women and trying to create livelihoods in the villages, because we want cities like Mumbai have of opportunities for employment. Villagers don't. That's why they come and want to get settled in cities like Mumbai and Pune. So we want to create the livelihoods only in rural areas, not in the city at all. So I've been really adamant about this, but it makes sense because right now, even in the COVID situation, if you must have realized, a lot of people, there were migrant laborers, right? There were huge migrant labor problems. Why these migrant laborers are coming to the cities? Because they don't have employment in the villages. What if we create employment in the village? That's what we are working on. So we would rather do what we can in the city, but leave the employment part and the craft part to the villagers. That would be great because we are creating more livelihoods over there. So we would do that. And I would love if your NSS students can actually help us in doing the collection, doing the sale, also helping us out at exhibitions. So for example, next month in April, we are having one at Kumar Swami Hall, which is right very close to where you all are. So you all can come and volunteer with us over there. So yeah, we could all do that. Bioplastic can also upcycle. No, unfortunately. So there is that. Yeah. So this, I got this as a sample from somebody. It is called a compostable plastic, biodegradable compostable garbage bag. Okay, garbage bags nowadays have started coming into all these things. So I just cut a few pieces of this and I put it in my compost at home. And what happened after a year, I pulled it out. It's as it is. Nothing has happened to it. It's not compostable. So I don't know what these bioplastics are and how much time does it take to degrade. Where will it degrade? Will it degrade in the open soil? Will it degrade in a landfill? Will it degrade in compost? We don't know that. So unless and until we know that it really degrades, I would advise not to use biodegradable plastic waste, because what will happen is all this biodegradable plastic waste mixes up with regular plastic. So whatever is recyclable, even that gets muddled with things which are not recyclable. So I advise, let's not use garbage bags. We can just use a layer of paper. That's what we used to do. We never had a concept of garbage bags when I was a kid. Garbage bags concept has just come up maybe in the last 15 years, 10, 15 years. All types of plastic are recyclable, not really. These very thin plastic bags do not get recycled, unfortunately. There's a sheer, even the multi-layered wrappers do not get recycled, things which have inside other layer and outside other layer. Also, when you're talking about recycling and when you're talking about waste pickers are basically doing that for a livelihood. They collect waste in bulk and then they sell it to bhangarwalas or recyclers. Now, bottles, for a kilo of bottles, they get somewhere between 20 to 30 rupees. For dabbas, they get for a kilo. Okay, I'm not even talking about grams. For a kilo, imagine how much waste they'll need because plastic is a lightweight. It is between 10 to 30 rupees they get. For this, for 1 kilo, or this, for 1 kilo, they get 3 to 5 rupees. And how many will they need to collect to become 1 kilo? Do you think this is going to go into recycling? Do you think the waste pickers are crazy that they'll collect this for hours and days together to make it 1 kilo and then sell it for 3 rupees or 5 rupees? Kya aata hai 3 rupees mein? Kuch bhi nahi. So that's why when you see in your waste streams, this is what you find. होता नहीं है, इसका recycling नहीं हो पाता because its economic value is very low. So we have to think about the economic perspective as well. But logical, right? So how much time this process takes to upcycle? Okay, so for us it takes a lot of time because it's a manual process and we kept it manual because we want to create employment. But to make a bag like this, the one that I was showing you earlier, it takes 1 to 1.5 man days of work. What do I mean by man days? Is one person goes, collects 35 plastic bags. वो 35 प्लास्टिक बैग को वो वॉश करेंगी, उसके बाद उसको धोएंगे, उसके बाद उसको सैनिटाइज करेंगे, कट करेंगे, वीव करेंगे, फिर बैग करेंगे. अगर एक ही बंदे ने सब कुछ किया तो उसको 1 से 1.5 दिन लगेगा ये एक बैग बनाने में. So it's a long process, but it is done specifically to create employment. Yes, plastic can be converted into a fuel. pyrolysis. Currently, it's being done, but I am not so sure about the emissions that it gives out. Pyrolysis gives out some kind of emissions, and those emissions could also be carcinogenic. It could be polluting. So the best is not to use plastic. I keep focusing on that. Recycling is not the solution. Pyrolysis is not the solution. How can we start it from our home, and to whom can we hand over the collected plastic? This is something that I want volunteers for. Start collecting at home. You at your college level or at your society level, start collecting plastic, and then you can send it to us, to our Pune office or to our workshop, tribal workshop. So get in touch with me. Basically, after you're done collecting, you can individually send it to us, or you can combinedly become a volunteer, become an eco-social of Recharkha, and send us your plastic waste. What is this? Wait. What are the questions? Can any microbes decompose plastic? So there have been microbes which say they break down plastic, but I feel that maybe it was never economically sustainable. नहीं तो फिर इतना प्लास्टिक नहीं होता यार. अगर माइक्रोब्स थे जो डिकम्पोज कर सकते थे प्लास्टिक, फिर उनको ही मीठी नदी में छोड़ दिया था ना, छोड़ दिया रहता था ना, या उनको ही बीच पे डाल दिया होता था, and they would have decomposed the plastic. But personally, I feel it has not yet come to that scale where it is possible. That is your task as chemistry students. You need to come up with something like this. So ma'am, for wet waste, which type of bag can we use? Why not? And wet waste आपको फेंकने की जरूरत नहीं है. Compost. Again, composting is the best way to learn chemistry for all of you. Start composting at home. Start it immediately. There are hundreds and thousands of videos online which will teach you how to compost. Go ahead, watch it. And even on our Insta page, we have some ideas of how to compost it. So you don't need a garbage bag to keep your wet waste. Your wet waste can be composted at home. Even if you're living in a small apartment, you can still compost. You don't need to have a big house to compost. There was a question? So you will not need basically you will not need a garbage bag. And even if you want a garbage bag, use layers of paper, man. I do that. If I want to throw something wet, which is not compostable, as in not in my house, but maybe somebody else's house, I always recommend them to use 3-4 layers of newspaper so that it doesn't get soggy. But you don't need garbage bags. Any other questions? Our organization.
Any questions?
There was a question. Do your organization receive any help from the government? No, not yet. We have never been supported by the government ever. If anyone, okay, wait. How can we contact you to donate plastic waste for upcycling? Send us DMs on our Instagram, and one of my teammates will tell you where to send it. I'm just seeing if there are any questions.
Yeah, one student is asking, in shops there are some plastic bags still in use, like they say 20 micron. So we should stop using them, right?
Don't. Even if it is 20 microns, will it get recycled? Tell me. I told you the economic problem, right? For 1 kilo, 3 से 5 रुपए लगेंगे. If you were a waste picker, what would you have done? Would you waste your time in collecting that plastic? You wouldn't. It's very unfortunate. So don't use it. 20 microns हो, कोई भी micron हो, मत use करो. There's somebody whose TV is running behind them. Can you mute yourself? Any other questions?
Ma'am, for the home composting, we can't use the plastic bag in that. Now we can only put the like food leftover, everything. But can we put the plastic in that part for the composting?
Plastic is not compostable.
Yes, ma'am. So for that part, like you said कि we start the composting at home. So like for the plastic bag, for what can we do? Like we have to donate. This is the option.
I think, should I go back to my presentation slide? I'm suggesting don't use it. Plastic bag ही मत use करो. उसको
No,
donate
ma'am.
करने
The
का
other way.
सवाल ही नहीं पैदा होगा. If you have a plastic bag, if it is upcyclable, like I told you what plastic we upcycle, अगर upcycle हो सकता है तो then you can donate it to Recharka. But otherwise, you can even give it to your local recycler. But वो बल्क में दीजिए. जैसे दूध का पैकेट्स है, बहुत सारे स्टोर करके महीने में एक बार जाके आपके रद्दी वाले को दीजिए, फिर वो उसको रिसाइकलिंग के लिए डालेंगे. इसको डस्टबिन में मत फेंकिए. डस्टबिन में जब डालोगे तो उसका कुछ नहीं होने वाला, रिसाइकलिंग नहीं होने वाला. बॉटल्स और ये सारी चीजें आप डस्टबिन में डालोगे तो रिसाइकिल हो जाएगा, क्योंकि उसका वैल्यू है. इकोनॉमिक वैल्यू इज व्हाट इज इम्पोर्टेंट. या प्लास्टिक बैग्स का इकोनॉमिक वैल्यू नहीं है तो उसको कोई यूज नहीं करता. बट अगेन, डोंट यूज इट. इट्स ओके. वी डोंट नीड इट. इट्स वेरी इजी. इट्स जस्ट बिहेवियर. अपने आप में बिहेवियर चेंज करना है. अगर आप हमेशा यही सोचिए कि आपको if you have kids or if you are yourself a young person, imagine how would you want your world to look like after 10 years, 20 years, 50 years. Imagine that and then take a call कि मुझे क्या यूज करना चाहिए. Cloth bags use.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, you should do a collection point in your college, but make sure that you know what all we collect. So on our website we have this little poster which you can use, which you can go see, maybe take a printout of that. उसका printout वहाँ पे paste कीजिए कि यही type का waste हम use करते हैं. We also have a video on our website as well as on our YouTube channel where we show what plastic can be used and how you're supposed to cut it and keep it separately. If any of your homes, your parents, grandparents have these kind of cassette tapes, you can even send them to us. Cool. So I think that's all we have. If you guys have any other questions, do handle. It's recharka_ecosocial. Charkha, it's RECHARKHA_ecosocial. Follow us and you can ask your questions there. You volunteer for us, guys. It's really great. And on our website again, under the eco-social buddy section, we have a form which you can click and you can become our volunteers. And especially in Mumbai, because we are doing a lot of activities there, we are also now tying up with Afroz Shah and his foundation to do waste management in Sanjay Gandhi National Park and work with the tribals inside the park. And let's see if we can make it into a waste-free national park. That's the idea. So if you have questions, you can come and ask them on Instagram. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the interactive question answer session.
Thank you so much. I think we are done with that time anyways, right? So, yeah.
I will
Charu,
request
ma'am.
now Karun sir, Karun Soda sir, to give the word of thanks.
Yes. Am I audible?
Yes.
So on behalf of HSNC University, our principal ma'am, Dr. Hemlata Bagla, and members of Department of Chemistry, I would like to thank Ms. Amita Deshpande for enlightening the students on this topic on waste management from lab to life. Now, ma'am has explained different types of waste, such as biodegradable waste, which are generally organic waste and which are managed by composting, and they can be easily converted into manure and be recycled or reused. Whereas on the other hand, non-biodegradable waste, which are the ones which accumulate in the environment for a long time, can still be recycled by use or in landfills, etc. And ma'am has also explained about the photo degradation or photo biodegradation of waste materials in presence of light. Decrease in pollution nowadays, if you see, it's increasingly important, because otherwise it will affect our atmosphere, climate and seasons in the due course of time. I would also like to thank our principal ma'am, who has given us the opportunity to organize such informative programs in this particular era of pandemic. I would also thank each and every member or and teacher of our department to put together today's program. So my special thanks are due to senior teachers like Dr. Vijay Dabolkar, Dr. Sunetra Chaudhary, and Charu ma'am for putting up this particular today's function. I would also like to thank, last but not the least, my students for attending this program and making it a success. So thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for the program.
Most welcome, and thanks for inviting me, and stay in touch. If you all have any events at your college, do think about us. We can also come up and put up a stall, an exhibition sort of a thing, if you all have that kind of an idea going forward. We had done this for a school at Church Gate. I forget the name, like one of the best schools in that area. We had done this similar activity over there.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. And actually, just Principal ma'am just want to know how we can join this mission and how we can help you. So I will just message you what we can do and how we can contribute and we can help the society.
Sure. But again, Charu ma'am, we need participation of your students and your team, because we are a very small team. We are only 28 people, and out of the 28 people, only 6 are admin people, including me. So only 6 people are running the show. So we are really always hell-bent on, very little time. But if we get help from all of you and your students, volunteers, that'd be great.
I just want to ask you, the cushion covers, I think that is also you made with that, the cushions.
Oh yeah, the one behind me, yes. Yeah.
Yes.
It
So
is
we can make the cushion covers also. That's a very good thing, because you showed only the bag, but
I forgot to show you the cushion covers. We have table mats, table runners, and cushion covers, laundry bags, and some interesting, and planters, and put soil and plant saplings. So if you go onto our website, which is www.reacharkha.org, you'll actually find a lot of these products over there.
Sure, ma'am. Sure. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
We
ma'am.
can all
Thank you
come
so
together
much.
and place an order if you want, because it'll then
Yes,
be easier
ma'am.
for us to ship also. So if 5-6 people or 10 people come together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for creating awareness amongst our students.
You're most welcome. Thanks, Karun. Thanks. Okay. Bye-bye. I'll leave.
Right, ma'am, you can leave. Yeah. Students first fill the feedback form and then